Close your eyes and imagine a ruler who commands a nation without raising his voice, who makes decisions that shape destinies, who leads not with fear, but with unshakable presence. This isn't about thrones or crowns. It's about the hidden psychology that separates those who follow from those who lead. The ancient secrets of kings weren't lost to history. They were waiting for you. Your mind is the kingdom. It's time to reign. Power isn't taken, it's earned. And purpose isn't found, it's built. From the courts of ancient rulers to the boardrooms of today's leaders, one truth remains. Those who think like kings shape the world around them. This audiobook isn't about ego or domination. It's about the hidden psychology behind true influence, how to lead with confidence, make decisions without doubt, and leave a legacy that lasts. Whether you're building a business, leading a team, or simply taking control of your own destiny, these timeless principles will change how you see power forever. The throne isn't inherited, it's claimed. Let's begin. The mindset of a king. Thinking like a king is not about being bossy or controlling others. It's about having a strong sense of responsibility and a clear vision for yourself and those around you. A real king knows that power is not for showing off or making others feel small. True power is about guiding, protecting, and lifting people up. This mindset starts with knowing yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, and how your actions affect others. Kings in history didn't just get power because of their birthright. They earned it by thinking differently, seeing problems as chances to grow, treating people with respect, and making decisions with confidence. They didn't wait for things to happen. They made things happen. When you think like a king, you stop letting life push you around. You take control of your choices because you understand that every decision shapes your future. A king's power doesn't come from fear or force. It comes from having a purpose. Without purpose, power is meaningless. So ask yourself, are you leading your life or is life leading you? Do you make choices based on what's easy or what's right? Thinking like a king means taking full responsibility for your thoughts, your actions, and the mark you leave on the world. It's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. Start small. Take charge of your daily habits, stand by your word, and treat people with fairness. That's how true leadership begins. The power of decision-making. One of the biggest differences between a leader and a follower is the ability to make decisions. A king doesn't hesitate. He assesses, chooses, and moves forward. Indecision weakens power because it creates doubt, wastes time, and makes people lose trust in you. History's greatest leaders weren't always right, but they were decisive. They trusted their judgment, learned from mistakes, and kept moving. Decision-making isn't about being perfect. It's about picking a direction and adjusting as you go. Even a wrong decision can be fixed, but no decision keeps you stuck. The psychology behind this is simple. Action builds confidence, while hesitation feeds fear. When you train yourself to decide quickly and stand by your choices, people naturally respect you. They follow those who move forward, not those who stay frozen in doubt. A king knows that every choice shapes his future, so he doesn't avoid making them. Start practicing this in small ways. Decide what to eat without overthinking. Choose your daily tasks without second-guessing. Stand by your decisions, and if they're wrong, learn and adjust. Over time, your mind will sharpen, and your confidence will grow. Indecision is the enemy of power, but the habit of making firm choices turns you into a leader. Commanding respect without force. A king doesn't force people to respect him. He earns it. True power isn't about fear or threats. It's about trust, fairness, and strength of character. People follow leaders they believe in, not leaders who bully them. Respect comes from consistency, doing what you say, treating people well, and standing firm in your values. A king listens before he speaks, understands before he judges, and leads with both wisdom and kindness. Respect is also about boundaries. Being kind doesn't mean letting people take advantage of you. A true leader knows when to be gentle and when to be firm. He doesn't seek approval. He acts with integrity, and respect follows naturally. The psychology behind this is simple. Humans admire confidence, honesty, and reliability. When you show up as someone who keeps promises, speaks truth, and treats others with dignity, people want to follow you. They don't obey out of fear. They follow because they trust you. To command respect, focus on being someone worth respecting, not just someone with authority. Respect yourself first. Hold yourself to high standards, and others will mirror that. A king's power isn't in his title. It's in the way he carries himself. The role of discipline in power. A king's strength comes from discipline, not just in actions, but in thoughts and habits. Without discipline, even the smartest or strongest person will fail. Discipline is what turns dreams into reality. It means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Kings in history didn't just wake up powerful. They built routines, trained their minds, and stayed focused on their goals. The psychology behind discipline is simple. Small, consistent actions create big results. When you control your daily habits, you control your future. Discipline isn't about punishing yourself. It's about freedom. The more disciplined you are, the more choices you have. A king doesn't let distractions or laziness rule him. He masters his time, his health, and his focus. Start small, wake up early, finish your tasks before relaxing, and avoid things that waste your energy. Over time, discipline becomes a habit, and that habit becomes power. The most successful people in history weren't the smartest or luckiest. They were the most disciplined. If you want real power, master your habits first. Vision and purpose of a king. A king without a vision is like a ship lost at sea, moving but going nowhere important. True power comes from having a clear purpose that guides every decision you make. Vision isn't just about setting goals. It's about understanding why those goals matter to you and to others. History's greatest leaders all had this. They could see beyond today's problems to tomorrow's possibilities. The psychology behind this is powerful. When you know your why, the how becomes easier. Your purpose acts like an inner compass, helping you make choices that align with what truly matters. A king's vision includes others. It's not just about personal success, but about creating something that lasts and helps people. This kind of thinking transforms ordinary actions into meaningful steps toward greatness. To develop your vision, ask yourself, what problems do I want to solve? What difference do I want to make? How do I want to be remembered? Write these answers down and revisit them often. When challenges come, and they will, your vision will keep you moving forward. Remember, a kingdom isn't built in a day, but every great kingdom started with a clear vision. Your life works the same way. Start looking beyond today, and you'll start building something truly powerful. The balance of strength and compassion. Real leadership requires both strength and compassion. like two wings that keep a bird flying straight. Too much strength without care becomes cruelty. Too much compassion without backbone becomes weakness. A true king finds the balance between these qualities. History shows us the best rulers were warriors when needed, but protectors always. They can make hard decisions while still understanding people's needs. The psychology here is important. People respect strength, but love kindness. When you combine both, you create unshakable loyalty. This balance shows up in small ways every day. Being firm about your values while listening to others, pushing for excellence while understanding limitations, standing your ground while admitting when you're wrong. A king knows when to be tough and when to be gentle because he understands people and situations deeply. Practice this balance starting today. Next time you need to correct someone, do it with respect. When you must be firm, explain why. Watch how people respond differently when they feel both your strength and your care. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware and always working to do better. The most powerful leaders throughout time weren't just feared or just loved. They were both, in the right measure. Mastering influence and persuasion. A king doesn't force people to follow. He inspires them to want to follow. This is the art of true influence, and it's more powerful than any command. Real persuasion isn't manipulation. It's helping others see the value in your vision. The psychology behind this is simple. People support what they help create. If you involve others in your ideas, listen to their concerns, and show how your direction benefits them, they naturally want to join you. Great leaders throughout history mastered this. They speak to people's hopes rather than their fears, to their pride rather than their shame. You can develop this skill by practicing 3 things. First, understand what people truly want, often different from what they say. Second, connect your ideas to their values. Third, communicate with clarity and passion. Notice how the best leaders tell stories rather than just give orders. This makes ideas stick. Start small. Next time you want to persuade someone, don't just state your case. Ask questions, find common ground, paint a picture of success. True power isn't about making people obey. It's about helping them understand. When you master this, you won't need to push people. They'll want to walk with you. The king's duty. A king's true worth isn't measured by what he gained during his life, but by what he left after it. Power fades, but legacy lasts. This is the ultimate test of thinking like a king, building something that continues to grow even when you're gone. The psychology behind legacy is powerful. When we focus on creating something beyond ourselves, we make better decisions and inspire greater loyalty. History remembers leaders not for their wealth or conquests, but for what they built, laws that lasted, institutions that endured, values that shaped generations. Your legacy starts today through the people you influence, the standards you set, and the good you put into the world. Ask yourself, if I disappeared tomorrow, what would remain? What would people say about how I treated them? What problems did I help solve? These questions aren't about ego. They're about responsibility. A king plants trees whose shade he may never sit under. Start building your legacy now in small ways. Mentor someone. Create something useful. Stand for what's right, even when it's hard. These actions compound over time into something much bigger. Remember, we're all temporary caretakers of power and influence. What matters is what we do with it while we have it. That's the final lesson of thinking like a king. True greatness isn't what you take, but what you leave behind. And so we return to where we began, not with a crown, but with a choice. Kings aren't born, they're made. Through every decision you stand by, every challenge you face without flinching, every person you lift as you rise. This isn't about ruling over others, it's about mastering yourself. The psychology of power isn't a secret anymore, it's yours. Now go forth, not to take, but to lead, not to demand respect, but to earn it. The world doesn't need more followers, it needs more kings. Your kingdom awaits. Thank you for listening to Inside the Covers. If this audiobook changed your perspective, share it with someone who deserves to think like royalty. The greatest kingdoms were built by those who dared to lead differently. Will you?